Hi there, and welcome to The Daily Gardener, an almanac of garden history, literature, and small botanical joys. I'm Jennifer Ebling, and today is July 9th. Sometimes July forgets it's July. You step outside expecting the day's warmth to already be gathering, the kind that makes the air shimmer above the tomato cages. Instead, the grass is cool beneath your feet. The sky is gray. And the birds have tucked themselves deep into the trees, as though they think it's October. The poet Paul Zimmer captured one of these days in a short poem called Our Bodies. He wrote, "Another cold day in July. The garden is in shock. Bugs lie low, and the fields are on hold. Birds fluff up in the branches and wait. Our bodies, puzzled by unseasonable weather, corrupt around our spirits." Paul knew that kind of morning, and we do too. Some July mornings ask nothing of the garden except patience. The flowers wait, the insects wait, the birds wait. And perhaps, without even realizing it, so do we. Here's today's garden history. It was on this day in 1877 that William Keble Martin was born in Oxfordshire. He spent most of his life as a country vicar, but gardeners remember him for something else. As a boy, he chased butterflies, but caterpillars feed on particular plants. So to find the butterflies, William had to learn the flowers. And so he learned them all. At 22, he was tutoring in Ireland, waiting to begin theology college. One afternoon, he painted a little pink wildflower called Herb Robert. Just another drawing. He tucked it away and got on with his life. He became a parish priest, served as an army chaplain during the First World War, raised a family. Whenever he found a free afternoon, he wandered back into the countryside with a sketchbook. Someone would send word about a rare wildflower, and off he'd go. Sometimes he'd lift the plant just long enough to paint it, then settle it gently back into the earth. Years passed, then decades. The paintings accumulated. He never counted them. By the time he was 88, there were more than 1,400 of them, nearly every wildflower in Britain. When his book was finally published, it was called The Concise British Flora in Color. It sold more than 100,000 copies in its first year. A life's work that began with a little pink flower painted one afternoon in Ireland and tucked away. And it was on this day in 1901 that the English novelist Barbara Cartland was born. By her late 40s, she was famous, and she bought an old English estate called Camfield Place. Woodlands, walled gardens, and an old house with a long memory. Many years before, a little girl named Beatrix Potter had spent her summers there. She loved the cottage gardens, the cabbages, the gooseberry bushes, and the neat little paths. Years later, they all found their way into Peter Rabbit as Mr. McGregor's garden. Barbara lived at Camfield Place for the last 50 years of her life. She wrote hundreds of novels, dictating many of them from a pink sofa. She loved pink hats, pink chiffon, and pink lipstick. The color followed her everywhere, even into the garden. She wasn't much interested in digging. She preferred to point. Her sons did the planting. Her favorite flower was the Malmaison carnation, an old-fashioned, fragrant flower, deeply ruffled and naturally pink. Her husband Hugh brought her armfuls of them. They married on the 28th of December in 1936, and every year after that, the two of them went back to Paris to renew their wedding vows. They did it for 27 years. Hugh died on the 29th of December, 1963, the day after their last anniversary. Barbara called him Mr. Wonderful. She lived another 37 years. She never married again. Barbara Cartland died at the age of 98. She's buried at Camfield Place beneath an old English oak, known as the Deer Oak. In today's Unearthed Words, we hear a diary entry written on this day, July 9th, in 2008, by the writer Susan Wittig Elbert, who gardens in the Texas Hill Country. From An Extraordinary Year of Ordinary Days. The button bush is blooming beside the creek, and the hummingbirds and native bees are swarming over it. We're not seeing many honeybees this year. There's not much else in bloom right now. A few straggly brown-eyed Susans, blue Ruellia. Between the drought and the blistering heat, the wildflowers are pretty well baked, boiled, or fried. The creek is dropping fast, and the emerging silty shoals are pocked with fresh coon tracks every morning. The baby bunnies have graduated from their nest to my garden, and Mother Rabbit has already started on her next family. Hot. Yes, hot. The mornings are muggy. The noon sky shimmers. The afternoons are loud with singing cicadas. Summer moves along in all its lively, lovely moves. Susan knows that every garden keeps its own diary. Mine has baby rabbits too, which means my black lab Max is never very far away. He's fairly convinced they were planted just for him. It's time to grow that garden library with today's book, Bay Area Gardening, edited by Barbara J. User. This week's book recommendations have all celebrated American gardens, and today's book takes a slightly different approach. Not history, not grand estates, but a community. Bay Area Gardening is a collection of articles written by local master gardeners about the particular joys and challenges of gardening in the San Francisco Bay Area. The editor, Barbara User, brought these voices together, gardeners sharing what they've learned by living with their own soil, their own weather, and their own gardens. One article begins this way. The jasmine emits its perfumed scent. Rich soil sifts through your fingers. The hummingbird hums. The basil tastes spicy and sweet. The roses are a sea of colors. And then comes one of my favorite lines in the whole book. A lot of people claim their plants always die in the shade. But the shade isn't the problem. It's the soil. Barbara User invites us to think about the floor of a forest, cool, dark, and covered with years of fallen leaves, slowly becoming rich black earth. That's what shade-loving plants have been asking for all along. And finally, here's something sweet to ignite the little botanic spark in your heart. It was on this day in 1977 that the American naturalist Loren Eiseley died. One night, a sharp cracking sound woke him from a deep sleep. It sounded like breaking glass. He lay still, listened, but heard nothing. When he switched on the light, he found tiny seeds scattered down the length of the room. A day or two before, he had carried 2 wisteria pods inside the house and dropped them in a small dish. As the pods dried, they wound together tighter and tighter until they tore themselves apart and threw their seeds clear across the room. And Loren couldn't stop thinking about it. There in the dark, one after another, he thought about seeds. All kinds of seeds. Winged seeds, hooked seeds, silken seeds. Each one solved the same problem. How does a rooted thing travel? The answer was a seed. A way for a plant to move without ever taking a step. Loren wrote that without flowering plants, without seeds, there would be no grasses, no grain, no mammals, and no people. When Loren Eiseley died, his wife Mabel chose the verse for their gravestone from one of his poems. We loved the earth, but could not stay. As we close the show today, remember, nothing in your garden started out the size it is now. Every oak was an acorn somebody stepped over. Big things begin small and slowly, and mostly underground. The things you keep going back to are the things that matter. You already know which ones they are. Your hands know. And today counts. Not someday, not when the beds are finished. Today. Thanks for listening to The Daily Gardener. And remember, for a happy, healthy life, garden every day.